A century before it became the land of Sinnoh, the Hisui region was a dangerous place where humans and Pokémon did not share the close bond they have today. In fact, Pokémon were treated like dangerous creatures to be avoided, and in Pokémon Legends, Arceus, it's up to you and the Galaxy Expedition team to document and, yes, catch 'em all for the first ever Pokédex. This game offers the first real open-world experience in the Pokémon series. Technically a spin-off from the mainline games, Pokémon Legends. Arceus takes place in a Ye Olde version of the Gen 4 region, first visited in Pokémon Diamond and Pearl on Nintendo DS, and more recently in the Sinnoh remakes Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl on Switch. The land of Hisui is split up into regions, each of which is filled with Pokémon native to that habitat. In order to document them for your Pokédex, you'll have to catch 'em, obviously. But instead of your sole option being simply weakening the Pokémon and then picking Poké Ball from a menu, you have the chance to throw it yourself this time. This is the best part of the game by far. The catching mechanics actually feel skill-based rather than luck-based, although luck still plays some factor. Certain Pokémon will require stealth when pursuing because, if they catch you looking at them the wrong way, they'll either battle you or run away. There's nothing more heartbreaking than slowly creeping up to a rare Pokémon just for it to spot you and sprint away as you launch Pokéballs over, under and to the side of it. As a result, actually catching rare Pokémon feels like a great achievement and your team you build feels much more realized as you can remember exactly how you caught them. This also makes the experience of going into a new area and noticing all the different species you've yet to encounter feel so much more exciting than the equivalent in the mainline games. Altogether, this central gameplay loop takes the ideas that were previously left to the imagination and obscured behind RPG mechanics in the mainline Pokémon games. Altogether, this central gameplay loop takes the ideas that were previously left to the imagination and obscured behind RPG mechanics in the mainline Pokémon games, and recontextualizes them to be more active and personal. It's possible that all those times you got into a random encounter in previous Pokémon games, the monster first targeted you, and you tossed out a Pokéball to protect yourself in battle, and the battle system approximated that idea by presenting it as a random encounter. But here, it's very literal. You're at risk of getting hurt by a wild creature and your little pocket monsters are the only reliable answer at your disposal. It's satisfying to finally actually feel the tension of a wild beast attacking you, and to unleash your own trained monster to protect you. The controls behind this binary approach, stealth versus an outright attack, capturing versus initiating a Pokémon battle, can be disorienting. The trigger button is used to toss whatever you have at the ready, and you toggle between a menu of Pokeballs and other objects like bait and a separate menu of caught Pokémon using the X button. It's fairly intuitive most of the time, cycling through your arsenal and then aiming a shot, but in the heat of the moment it's easy to waste a Pokéball when you meant to start a battle, or worse, to start a battle when you were trying to be sneaky. Unfortunately, campaign progress gating is also tied to completing Pokédex survey results. The Survey Corps awards star rankings that level up as you gain research points for completing tasks and filling out Pokédex entries. New environments open up as you progress through the story. But between each major story point, you need to rank up to the next star level. That meant that for the first few star ranks, I was stuck needing to go over areas I had already explored extensively, grinding to progress enough to proceed. Later in the game, Once I gained access to a larger selection of environments, and had access to mounts that made new areas reachable, it was much easier to progress without feeling like I had to go back over a previous area with a fine-toothed comb. Unfortunately, campaign progress gating is also tied to completing Pokédex survey results. The Survey Corps awards star rankings that level up as you gain research points for completing tasks and filling out Pokédex entries. New environments open up as you progress through the story. But between each major story point, you need to rank up to the next star level. That meant that for the first few star ranks, I was stuck needing to go over areas I had already explored extensively. Grinding to progress enough to proceed. Later in the game, once I gained access to a larger selection of environments, and had access to mounts that made new areas reachable, it was much easier to progress without feeling like I had to go back over a previous area with a fine-toothed comb. That's just the Pokémon Legends, Arceus experience. It's filled with excellent ideas aimed at changing a series that has largely grown stale. But some of the execution breeds frustration. Exploring the open world is freeing, but also awkward, until I unlock more travel options later in the game. Legends. Arceus is graphically dreadful, with flat textures and pop-in rampant in every area, but the Pokémon animate wonderfully. Still, I'll gladly take an imperfect Pokémon game that takes a chance on something different, even if it's not always successful. Could go on with Pokémon Legends, Arceus, list of pros and cons for another 1,000 words only to further reinforce that the game is inconsistent. But Legends. Arceus is confident enough in its new direction that its missteps feel more like small annoyances than major issues. Like a pebble in my shoe on an otherwise lovely walk, the structure also lets you adjust the experience and the difficulty to your liking. I played very cautiously, using lots of stealth to avoid battles until I was ready. Arceus introduces new alpha monsters that can be quite a challenge to take down. But I could have also welcomed the challenge if I wanted. You can even get knocked out by wild Pokémon if they spot you and attack. It's an open enough experience that you can adjust things based on how you like to play, since you're not forced down a specific path. And while the main storyline is about as long as a traditional Pokémon game, there is a huge range of side quests and optional excursions to make this a really large, robust experience. I've seen the credits roll, but I still keep going back in an attempt to fill out that Pokédex and see everything the world has to offer. The most important thing I can say about Arceus is that it's a place I want to be in. As much as I loved previous Pokémon games, the worlds were very static and linear. I never really felt like I was exploring a vibrant world while walking back and forth in tall grass, trying to level up my squad. Here, though, while it's not exactly a realistic simulation of nature, it at least gives off the feeling of a real place full of danger and secrets and all of the joy and excitement those things can bring. And it does all of that while retaining most of the best qualities of its predecessors. It's still a Pokémon game, but with a changed perspective, it's also something new.